Good morning. On this week's edition of The Professor Helps, I'm going to talk to you about success. Now, everybody wants success. I know that you watching this, you're probably thinking, yes, everybody wants success. That's really just a big news flash, Jennifer. Well, the truth is that everybody wants success, but they expect it to look differently than it is. Think about it. Every single time that you've gone to apply for something or try for something, you've certainly failed more than you've succeeded, right? You probably didn't count that as part of your success story, but it actually is, and I'm going to explain why. So everybody wants success, right? The thing with success is that in the middle of it, it tends to look a lot more like suck. In fact, it's part of the word. So to get to success, it has to suck for a while. And nobody likes to suck. Nobody likes to talk about the suck. Nobody says, yay, I'm in the suck of my success. It doesn't work like that. You're frustrated, you're aggravated, you are definitely not in a happy place about it. Although when you consider that you're in the pursuit of success and eventually it's going to be a magnificent success story, it's easy to look back and say, oh wow, there were so many failures before there was a success. But when you're in the middle of it, it's really difficult to see it that way. A great example of this is Felicia Hatcher. And she did a TED Talk talking about some of her greatest failures and how she had a guidance counselor who told her, you're never going to amount to anything. You're not going to get to college, so you should just give up, get a trade. Well, the good news is she didn't let that stop her. She didn't let someone else who couldn't see her future limit her future and tell her what her future would be. She actually founded the first popsicle company that had booze in it. Fun popsicles, right? She has clients like Google, Tom Cruise, Maker's Mark. They have a popsicle made of bourbon. Check them out. The company name is Feverish. And I will post a link below. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how often I have failed rather than succeeded. And another person that I really admire, John Acuff, talks about the fact that you should always talk about your failures because everybody has experienced failure. Not everybody has experienced success. And we as a society are so caught up in looking good and feeling good and making sure that we never ever make a mistake. Well, I don't know about you, but 2020 has been rife with mistakes for me. Not to mention mistakes for the culture. I don't think anybody woke up and said, I really want to be sure to do everything perfectly right, and then a pandemic hit. I don't think it's like that. I think that what happens is that born out of the frustration of the things that we can't do, can't leave our house, we can't go to the park, or we can go to the park, but we have to distance, you find other outlets. For example, talking about failures, I could talk about many plays that I've auditioned for. I'm an actor, and I auditioned for A Few Good Men, which is a show near and dear to my heart. And while the audition was awesome and the callback was great, I didn't get cast. I auditioned for Chicago, and I did not get cast. And that one's a little easier to explain because I'm not a dancer by trade. I'm learning slowly, and I'm in the middle of that success story because right now I really suck. And that's okay because I'm in the process of getting better. And when you think about it, now is a great time to suck at something. Like you can try something new. Like maybe you've wanted to bake and you said, I don't have the time. Well, guess what? You have the time now. On that topic, I am actually really passionate today to talk about a business called Baking for Good. It's a non-for-profit. It's a nonprofit organization that is dedicating their goods and their services to the Black Lives Matter movement and Black Art Matters. And I'll post a link below for the auction. We are actually baking. And the reason that this ties into my success story is that when I first got married, I was engaged and very excited to be so, but realizing that though I'm from New Orleans, I don't know how to cook. And I was really embarrassed about that, and so I went to a friend and I asked her for some help, which is very difficult for me because I hate admitting that I don't know something, but believe it or not, there's a lot of stuff I don't know. And she actually thought, wouldn't it be great if I taught you to do something fun first? And she taught me how to make cake balls. And this auction, bakingforgood.org, I'm actually going to post a link below, We are a collection of bakers who believe that flour power is going to help social justice move forward. And they are dedicating all the proceeds to Black Art Matters. I'm going to post that below. And we are amplifying Black voices. And one of the things that is so great about this is that I have failed much more than I've succeeded. And one of the things that I succeed really well at now is baking. And at first it didn't look like that. And cake balls are actually a perfect example for how that looks, because if you think about it, when you make cake balls, you make the cake and then you get to crumble the cake, and then you ice the cake, and then you put it in these perfect little pieces, and then you put icing on it, and more often than not they don't come out looking perfect, but they're certainly delicious. And there's many options at this auction that you can choose from. And I think a lot of my friend Andrea Smith, who started this business, and you know, she could have been wrapped up in, I need to make sure it's perfect before I launch it, but no, she saw a need, and so she got out there and she put it all together and launched. And they had a huge success a couple months ago, and so they're doing this again because they feel the need to do something. And as an activist, something that I'm learning is more often than not, I need to sit back and listen and understand and dismantle my own racism and then act. In this particular vein, I get to do something. I get to bake. I get to do something that I love. And hopefully you'll bid on my cake balls. And I promise that if you are the winner, I will come to your door, gloves and mask, of course, socially distanced, and I will bring you your favorite Starbucks beverage, and I will also bring you my fabulous cake balls. There are many other items to bid on. There's some sourdough, there's pies, there's all kinds of wonderful things to do and support. And I just think about all the times that people have told me, you know, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to do this. And, you know, those were people who were limiting my future, not knowing what I had in front of me, not knowing what I was capable of. And that's my point, my friend. This is about you, right? My goal is to inspire one person every single day, whether it's virtually or in person. And I'm taking the opportunity, because we're all online right now, to take the Professor Helps and to inspire you, motivate you, and sometimes frustrate you, or remind you of things that you're frustrated about. Because I don't know about you, but I've been very frustrated about the systemic racism in the country, and I feel like I'm waking up and working on it. And the biggest thing is being aware of it every single day. It doesn't stop just because we stop thinking about it. And there's so much that we can do, and there's so much that we can help people with, and we can support Black businesses, and we can support causes like Baking for Good. And I'm going to post a link below so you can go and check out the yummy treats and decide what you're gonna bid for. And also, if you want to just make a donation outright, no donation is too big or too small. And the truth is that I could end there, but I want to remind you that every success story starts with a little bit of suck. What is it that you could go out and be horrible at right now, but eventually have your own success story to tell? So I want you to think about that as you step into this day, and certainly go check out bakingforgood.org, and you'll be able to look at the yummy treats that are available for auction. The auction is going until Friday. Bakingforgood.org is a nonprofit. They're doing everything for the Black Art Matters movement. I'm going to post that below. Also check out Felicia Hatcher, because her TED Talk is truly inspiring, and she reminds us that success and failure look very similar, and when you're in the middle of that success, it looks a lot like failure. And sometimes when you're in the middle of a success, you don't know it, because you are so consumed with how frustrated and how aggravated and how defeated you feel. And I'm going to encourage you that if you fall down, make sure that you fall on your back, because that way you can look up and see the fantastic future that is in front of you. And remember, as you step into your day, that you have to go through some suck in order to get to success. And that is the Professor signing off.